Ready.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. Welcome. We're going to give a minute or two here for the room to populate before we get going. Hope everybody's well. Give it one more minute. Jorge and Ignacio, one more minute before we get going.
Perfect.
Great.
Hey, I will start. I will take the screen briefly. I want to show something to lay the groundwork for what they will be speaking about.
Okay. Well, with that, we'll get going. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Good morning. On behalf of NorCal Premier, my name is Jesus Mata, and we'd like to welcome you all to today's presentation with Jorge and Ignacio of Futmastery. Before we get going, just a few housekeeping items. I'm sure by now everybody knows the functionality of the webinar platform. Everybody's cameras and microphones are going to remain off for the duration of the presentation. If you'd like to submit a question or if you have a comment, you can use the Q&A function down at the bottom of the Zoom taskbar. And with that, we'll turn it over to Benjamin before we give it over to Ignacio and Jorge.
All right. Hello, everyone. I will be brief, but in the fall at our showcases in Davis, I believe Glenn Von Straten, who's a former board member and a well-known figure in Northern California for football. He was a player at USF, Surinamese, Dutch American now, player and wonderful person. He introduced us, and as soon as these two came over, they watched our showcase, and then that evening we sat down and on their iPad or on a laptop showed the platform. Perhaps it was during the day. Literally within minutes, I understood that this platform and what their observations of American football and some of the failings or the areas needing to be improved, that they had nailed it. And that this would be something that was incredibly helpful and of assistance to anybody that's trying to teach this to our players. So to show you a little bit of the area that they're going to focus on, I want to start here. I'm going to take the screen and I will show you briefly. Can you see, everyone see this? Thumbs up. Okay. So this is on Spielverlagerung, which is a site out of Europe. They are discussing, and it's on tactical periodization, which isn't the topic here, but I would encourage everyone to look it up and see it as a training model. But they talk about first the team. So you can see this is the team, all the players together. And at some point you train your team. And then they talk about intersectorial. And so this is two lines training together, which is probably 15, 16, 16, 17s, maybe 14s to 17s, depending on on your club of the people that should train together. And it's how you train the midfielders and the forwards, or the defenders and the midfielders together, and to achieve repetition, to do it at the proper age where you still want to work in smaller numbers, and just to be able to do, and they call it intersectorial, the relationship of two lines. And then the sectorial is one line. And so the one line you see here on the screen could be the back line, the midfield, or the forward line. And then there are the groups, which are players that play together, and they often have to cooperate in moments of the game. And so this is groups of players, and I'm sure most of you have trained these groups, but this is what they're focusing on. This is the individual. And of course, the individual has to act in coordination with their line, with their groups of lines, and with the team. But there are individual tactical situations that arise, such as moving to get free, shielding, or how to defend in a 1v1 situation, but they'll go into this more and more. But this is what their focus is on, and their observation that this is a weakness or an area needing to be strengthened by American football clubs and American football coaches and football players is absolutely something that everybody that has come over, from the professor at Fiorentina to Ajax coaches to many, that this is an area of concentration. So that is what they will focus on today. They have a wonderful website and a system they've developed. And so I will now stop and let them proceed. So enjoy this, and let's go. Let's go, Barca. All right,
Thank you.
screen is yours. Yes.
Perfect. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, everyone, for joining today in today's webinar. My name is Ignacio, and this is Jorge. A little bit of background about us. We are both from Spain, from La Coruña. We are former Deportivo La Coruña players. We played there in the youth academy for 8 years, myself, and 10 years, Jorge. And we also were in the United States playing college soccer, so we know how youth academy works in Europe, and also how it works in the United States. As Benjamin said, we were in Davis Legacy at the tournament in November. We were in the Bay Area for 1 month, so we could see a lot of players, club players that belong to NorCal, which was great. And what we have been focusing, Jorge, myself, and the team, as Benjamin said, is on individual tactical development, which is very important, and we believe that there is a lot of room for improvement in the United States. I'm gonna be sharing the screen right now. Perfect. So this is what we are be covering today. A little bit of introduction, how it works, how our platform works, and how the platform can help youth players to improve on individual tactical development through video in a very easy way and in a very engaging and visual way, because sometimes teaching tactics could be challenging, but we'll explain how we do it. And then number 3, we will be putting on some examples on individual tactical development that you will see the details explained. Everything is explained by La Liga players. We are not the coaches, because we are not the top experts, so they are the coaches. And you will see how they explain, how they analyze situations, and how they solve them. So again, as Benjamin was introducing, in football we have 3 big parts, which are technical, physical, and tactical. And there are in the United States, I know you guys, you work a lot on the technical and physical part, which is crucial. It's so important. But also the third part, the tactical part, it's very important for decision making for the players. And as we say, is the one that we feel that has more room for improvement. So as our platform, Futmastery, only focuses on individual tactical. Our mission, as it says here, is provide players with the best, and most innovative training taught by current La Liga players. As I was saying, all the lessons are taught by current La Liga players. They are the professors. So how do we do this? How the platform works? First of all, as I was saying, the professors are top professional current players. Everything is all the lessons are based on official game footage. So what the player does is analyze their own footage. So let's say that we have a midfielder. What he's doing is we put official footage from a game, and he's explaining how he solves a situation from his game. And what we do also is we add 3D graphics, so the lesson is very easy to follow and the explanation is very easy to follow. And number 3 is micro learning lessons. All the lessons are quick lessons. Average per lesson is going to be 5 minutes, 6 minutes, because again, this program is aimed for youth players, and we don't want very long lessons because we know that they are not gonna be focused for 40-45 minutes. So we want 5-6 minutes lesson, quick lessons with a couple concepts, but the main objective of this, of course, is that they learn. So we prefer to keep it short. Again, these are some of the current professors that we have. We have 12 players, 12 current La Liga players. These are some examples. Yunus Musa, that plays for Valencia and the USA national team. Dani Carvajal plays from Real Madrid and also for the Spain national team, or Bryce Mendez, that plays for Celta de Vigo and Spain national team. Besides those 12 players, we also have one nutritionist and one psychologist, because we wanted to include how important it is to eat well and how nutrition directly affects performance, and also the psychological part, the mental part, which is also very important for youth players. Again, everything is based on official game footage. We focus on individual cognitive and tactical development, and we add, as I was saying, 3D graphics. So everything, all the lessons are very, very easy to follow. So these are some benefits that youth players can get from using Futmastery. They're gonna develop game intelligence. They are gonna make a smarter decision on the field, because again, all the situations that they are gonna learn from, they're gonna have similar situations in their games. So they are gonna, once they are in those situations in their practices and games, they are gonna be able to remember those situations because they have already learned from them. So they're gonna be quicker in decision making. They're gonna have a 360 vision of the game also, because what we also, when we were in the Bay Area, what we saw talking to coaches, to players, and to parents is that, for example, if you play as a winger, you usually only know what to do as a winger, but it's very important in these ages that they understand how every position works, because they are gonna perform better themselves and they are gonna be able to help their teammates too. So it's very important that they have that 360 vision of the game. In this program, we are including all the positions for that reason. Again, they're gonna be able to read the game quicker, as we were saying, and they are gonna be able to keep improving off the field, because sometimes we know that they have limited time in practices, and Futmastery, this is important. This is a complement for the players. So this is aimed to players that really want to improve, that they want to get better, and this is a tool that they are able to keep improving off the field at their own pace, at any time, and from anywhere. So what we are gonna do right now is put some examples so you guys see how the lessons look like and how they are gonna be seen in the platform. This is a platform that we personalized for NorCal, and that all of you guys that you are gonna have access. So at the end of this webinar, we are gonna send up this link with a password that is going to be NorCal, and you guys, coaches and players, you guys are gonna have access to all these lessons to see them until Sunday. I will explain this later on. So I'm gonna put some examples so you guys see the format of the lessons. I'm not gonna put the whole lesson. I'm just gonna focus on some moments of the lessons, but it's just so you guys get an idea. I'm gonna be using 7 examples. So again, you guys are gonna see scenarios, examples from different positions. I'm gonna put this first one.
There, once Darwin takes the cross, I try to take the cross back from the area I want to attack. I try to get into the defense's blind spot where they cannot see me. I attack the near post. He takes a precise, strong, and perfect cross. I just have to turn the neck to hit the ball and get it inside. It is essential in today's soccer that you generate connections with the players of your team. With Darwin, I had a lot of connection last year. We had the connection at the time of the centers and the shots. To understand when your partner is going to do something. So I waited as he noticed what the opposition was doing and used a touch to get separated from the defender to open up the attack zone. You see that at the moment I take a step back so that the center back sinks a little and gets into the area to leave me the space that I really want to attack. Because there is a central midfielder attacking the central area. At the opposite end, that attacks the area of the far post, and in this case, at the top, that must attack the first post. And there it is. In the end, if the center back is in the area that I want to attack, it is very difficult for me to have scored the goal. So that is why I take the first step back and move away from that area that I want to attack to get him out of there and be able to enter after he leaves. And then once he started covering me, and he wants to keep covering me and pushing me to see where I am and in that moment want to attack me. So the first step is to make it difficult for him to hinder me.
So this is just an example. This is a forward that is explaining how he attracts the center back, the defender, to generate space for himself and then go for the ball and look for the blind spot. So this is very interesting because, as you guys can see, you can see the perspective for a current La Liga player, how he sees the game and how he explains those details that make the difference. Again, I'm just putting some moments. The whole class will be at the beginning an introduction. In every lesson, there are like 3 different plays, and we always end up the lesson with some key concepts to make sure that everything is being understood. So this is an example. We are gonna go to the next one.
Depending on if it is a skilled player, if he is right or left-footed, you will defend in one way or another. But ultimately, yes, you must analyze your opponent, as I was saying before. As when you are playing offense, where you must know what to do before the opponent arrives. When playing defense, you must know where your opponents are to know what is the best option when pressuring.
¿Algo eso o no?
No, Kroos
en el ataque del Barça.
se va a meter más en el sitio de Kroos.
Ahí va Denis Suárez, midiendo a Carvajal. Denis Suárez casi está en la cocina. De nuevo el córner.
In this play, maybe I made the error of letting him play inside the area because there, the attacker has a bit of the advantage. Because if you touch him, it's a penalty. I try to wait as much as possible because he is a quality player. And I orient the defense to his left foot, as I know he is right-footed. At the end, this is a good solution in this case.
Again, this example as a right back, how it's very, very important to analyze and you have to be able to push the other player to his weakest foot. And he's explaining how he solves those kind of situations. Again, these are things that some of them are very fundamental, very basic, and other ones are not that basic, but everything is explained in a very, very easy way. Of course, everything aimed for youth players. We're not gonna go to the next one. This is a lesson about scanning the field and how important it is.
I think they are all good, because in almost every play, I am scanning the field before receiving the ball, which I think is something that my coaches have instilled in me a lot this year. I have worked on it a lot, so you can see that I am looking at Roshina, who is in between lines, in the backside of the Valladolid players. So when I receive, I already know that I am going to play him the ball. So I think that playing first time is a difficult decision, but with a quick reception and pass, knowing that he is already there, I give continuity to the play. And well then, the ball falls to Malsa, who ends up shooting, but the shot does not go on goal. Playing forward, having a play in mind, playing a through ball to the attacking midfielder generates dangerous situations. And thanks to that situation, I think that, I do not remember if we were 1-1 or something like that. We were able to get ahead on the scoreboard and tip the momentum towards our side. And I think it is an aspect I have worked on a lot this year, knowing where my teammates are before receiving the ball, and when I receive it, having my next pass in mind. And well,
again, another situation, very, very, very important for everyone, but of course also especially for midfielders, having the solution prepared in mind before receiving the ball. You know how sometimes a lot of the times we see youth players that they get the ball, they receive the ball, and they make a decision after they receive the ball. If they have already watched the field, the teammates, if they have the solution prepared before receiving the ball, they are gonna make better decisions and they're gonna speed up the play. We are gonna go with another one. This one is about switching the ball from one side to another one.
Above all, we focus many times on playing close to seeing the closest teammate, on playing comfortably and easy. But it is true that today in modern soccer, almost all teams are very leaning towards a zone. They are teams that tactically are well worked and many times enable the opposite side. And it is one of the concepts that I like the most and that is important in the game as I see it. Because you almost always enable a teammate who is free. You give the team the option to breathe in the game. And in this case, I see the far right player who is released with a lot of options to get into the 18. And I try to enable him with the pass in front, with even a cross option, and the possibility of making a 1-against-1. In which, for example, I come from receiving in a super...
Again, in this one, you can see how important it is when you have a space on the other side to look for the other side for your teammate, and how he's explaining how he doesn't send the ball to his feet. Why? Because he has a lot of space in front of him, and if he sends the ball to the space, he's going to speed up the play a lot, and in this case, it will be the better option for him. Perfect. We are gonna go to the next one, which is he's explaining how to make a good cross and some details that can benefit. Again, I'm just putting some moments. If I put the whole lesson, we always put the plays before, so the youth player can see the play before, and then the players come and explain the action.
In this play, you can see everything. You can see that a good control is key. And if you see, I'm not looking around at any moment. I know where the ball must go. The ball should be placed between the keeper and the defense. My striker knows me well, and before I give him the pass, he is going to the place he knows I'm sending the cross. You need to know how your teammates move. You need to understand them. Because of this, the play ends up being a goal. Because my teammate understands me and has a good sense of the play, even before I receive the ball. It's a great cross, very difficult for the defense and the goalie. You don't need to find your teammate and the defenses. No, it's more important to be aware of what's around you. You must see the space. If the space is in the first post, I must make a powerful shot over there for my teammate. If the space is between the keeper and the defenders, send a powerful pass there for your teammates that are attacking that space. They'll come running and they'll be free. If it's in the second post, you can elevate the ball more to give more time to your teammates to get to the zone. You shouldn't try to cross it strictly to one teammate, because what happens if that teammate doesn't receive the ball? It's much better to try to find the space.
So here, as you guys can see, he's explaining the difference when you make a cross. He says that you should look, the cross should go to the space, and your teammates need to interpret the situation and go for the ball. But you, when you make the cross, you don't need to try to put the perfect ball to your teammate. You have to put it to the space, and then your teammates needs to go to that space and attack the ball. And that's the difference here, the detail that he's explaining. We're gonna go with the two last ones. We're gonna go with this one. This is an action from a throwing ball.
Which is that a player, in this case me, changes the rhythm to return the ball and to make the clearance. The key to this is for the thrower to put in a good ball so that the player who receives has an easy control. And what I do here is very important. I separate myself to generate space so that when I decide to move and change my rhythm, it gives my partner room to make the throw more simply. In any throw-in, whatever the area of the field is, it's always important to generate spaces. Because if you let the spaces be closed, you give in to the pressure of the opponent. If there is a returning pass for the one who takes the throw-in, he will have less space to react. That is why it is good to open the spaces, and that causes the other team to not be able to defend so well.
Again, in this moment, this situation, he's explaining how he needs to distance himself from his teammate to generate the space, and then change the rhythm, go for the ball to generate that space, and so they are able to clearance that ball, which makes it very, very difficult to the opponent to defend that situation. You know, separate yourself from the ball, from your teammate, and then change the rhythm and go for the ball. And we are gonna go to the last example that we have here, which this one is from a keeper. This is a simple situation, but it's very important. And as we said, we want to include all the positions and different situations from all the the positions.
In this action, what I see is I try to give my teammate a supporting passing lane outside the goal. And when I see that the forward is coming, I try to time it correctly in order to set the center back in a good position, so he has more time, more space. So I try this to time it correctly. Let the striker come for me and leave my teammate in a better position with more space. As can be seen in the action then, in this case I receive outside the goal. I ensure that the passing lane is away from the goal, so if I have a bad first touch, or if the ball makes a weird bounce, it does not end inside the goal, like I did in this case. Well, as you can appreciate in this situation, in order to be more comfortable and have more time to hit the ball, in this case I control with the left, that is my less dominant foot. And I take an oriented control and then give the pass to my partner with my right foot, which is my dominant one.
Again, another example, which is very important. Any teammate that passes a ball to the player, it needs to be outside the goal. So again, there are some details that are very simple, that sometimes the idea of these guys is to teach tactical development, tactical concepts in a very easy way, because sometimes we feel that you can pick a player and explain these concepts and they are gonna get it most of the times, but we know that it happens a lot that they forget about those things. So in what we wanted with this platform is that they are able to watch, to see the games, because another problem, not another problem, but another thing that we saw is that sometimes youth players over there in the United States, they don't see that much football, that much soccer as in Europe, for example. Like for us, for Jorge and myself, we grew up watching soccer all weekends and watching a lot of games. And sometimes it's important that it's just not only a person explaining a concept, but also everything based on footage. So the idea is that they get all these tactical concepts that are very important and that they are gonna make the difference, and that they really get it. And if professional current players are explaining their own footage, we feel that the explanation is going to be much easier to learn. Again, this will be the platform, and so these are some of the benefits that we were talking about. Again, very important, this is a complement for the players to keep improving off the field, and this is not going to how do you say, if for example your team plays counterattack, if your team plays more possession, it doesn't matter, because the idea of this is include all these concepts and general basic situations that all of them, they are gonna have it in their games. So just to conclude, so you guys know, the Futmastery program is $147. This includes, this is for 6 months. It has more than 100 lessons, again, all taught by La Liga current players with micro-learning method. You can do it at your own pace, anywhere, anytime, everything based on official game footage and supported by 3D graphics. We also have an individualized tracking progress with quizzes. So after each module, we have 10 modules, more or less, and each module has 10 lessons. After each module, the player is going to have a quiz just to make sure that all the concepts are being understood. And all players, after completing the program, they are gonna receive an official exclusive certificate. So this is $147 for 6 months. So thanks to NorCal Premier, we are including, and this is until the April 17th, this is until Sunday, all players can get the program for 6 months, the access to the 100 lessons and everything, for only $67. So they are gonna have a discount coupon, which is going to be called NorCal, okay? And they are gonna, I'm actually gonna show you how it will be. You guys are gonna have access to, as we said, to this platform, because NorCal is going to share the link and the password, so you can see for free all these lessons before making any decision if the player wants to continue with the program, right? But if they do, they can go here, enroll for only $67, and this will take them to the checkout. It says here $147. If they put NorCal here, which is the discount coupon, they will get it for $67. So all the players from, again, all the clubs that belong to NorCal Premier can get the program for the next 6 months for $67, and before they will have access to the platform to check all the lessons for free. We also included, guys, another option. This it will be for the player. The player will have to make the purchase. If the club, if the team wants to make the purchase for the team, for teams up to 25 players, this is also until Sunday. We also included these prices. So we have for a whole team, it will be only $497. For 5 teams, it will be, so you guys have an idea, $997 for 5 teams. You will have to contact, if you guys want this option, to info@futmastery.com. There's also the possibility, of course, to get it for more teams. If you contact, we will give you the price. But 2 options: the player can get the program with this huge discount thanks to NorCal Premier, or the team can get it. And this was just a quick presentation on how Futmastery works. Of course, the idea is that all youth players have the most innovative resources. Is that we want them to have all the tools so they become better, and also give them the opportunity to improve off the field with professional La Liga players. And that'll be
great. I believe you extended it to the 27th for the PDP players, because we had communicated that our state pool wouldn't be completed till then.
true.
Yes.
Is that for these folks as well, or is it the 17th?
We actually put until the 17th. If they need more time, okay, because
Okay.
this is until Sunday, we can also extend it.
Okay, great.
We want to put a date so they watch
yeah.
the lesson, but we could extend it.
All right. Okay. I thank you very much. I mean, I'm convinced that this is an area, and you said something about the amount of football that people watch worldwide versus in our country. And so the throw-in, the example of the throw-in, in Europe, you would already see a young player making an action like that, right? Creating a little space on a throw-in, whereas in the United States, it just doesn't happen as often. Although players that watch more football generally have a higher tactical intelligence already, individual tactical. You know, as you were talking, I looked up learning, and here I can tell you exactly what I looked up, but it was basically observational learning by watching. And I know the professor from Fiorentina has told us that it's actually proven that you learn from watching people do it. And so the article I found, they spoke about somebody learning to use chopsticks from watching their parents. Children learning to fold clothes from watching their parents fold clothes. So it's clear that this happens. So especially in clubs where your membership don't watch enough football, this is a pretty easy way of doing it. So, and then 2, I would like to take the screen over once more. There are no questions. So I'm going to take this time and show once again, this is where we are at with our PDP program. Actually, it's not that. It's here. So we, at our last meeting, we're discussing what we do next year at the regional. At the 9, 10, 11, we're looking at doing some regional soccer festivals. Then regional, state pool, state team. Okay, and I presented to the staff how to use a field with multiple groups. Okay, and then these are the work areas that we're discussing. Individual technical and individual tactical. Shielding, losing your defender, I mean, throw-ins. All of this is something that could be sped up by watching videos such as these. But that's our idea, is that it's individual tactical, small group tactical, team tactical, and then obviously games and open games for creativity. Again, this is from tactical periodization, but I think if you looked at the science of any periodization or any planning, physically, technically, and as Barca does, even socio-emotive, you will find that you should train different numbers on each day of the week. And one of these days, sub principles should be focused more. And you can just look at the physical side, but also look at the field size. And you have to incorporate, this is from Renato from Benfica. He's now in Ecuador and he's playing in Copa Libertadores. I hope I say that right. But here is their example at Benfica of what they do. And one of these days is individual principles, defensive and offensive, which is what these guys are talking about. So all this draws me back to, if you can't afford it, if you have players that can't afford it, if your club can afford it, I'm firmly convinced that this is a great platform to use. And so, they're giving this to our players for a month free, and then they're giving a heavy discount to players that can use this going forward. So we're telling every state pool player that they must access this and use it and watch it in order to improve themselves. I don't know if any questions came up during that time. Nope.
No, Benjamin, none.
All right, folks, we appreciate it. And feel free to reach out to these two. You don't have to go through us. Reach out to Futmastery and these guys. They are the primary drivers of it. And you'll find a fascinating football minds behind these youthful appearances. I am a little bit embarrassed that they are Real Madrid fans, but that's, you can't be perfect in this world.
Yes, guys, thank you again so much for joining the webinar. As Benjamin said, please feel free to reach out to us. We have our website, which is futmastery.com, and you guys can send us an email to info@futmastery.com. Again, thank you so much, and please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Forza,
Appreciate
Barca. All right.
Thank you so much.
Well, we would cheer for your club, but you're in the 4th division now, right?
Yeah, you cannot right now.
No, 3rd?
3rd.
Oh,
Too bad.
that must just be crushing to your region.
Yeah, we will get back though.
Back.
All right, that's good. All right, thanks a lot, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Thank
Thank you.
you. Wow.
Yeah.